Rosenblatt raised its price target on Palantir Technologies shares to 225 from 200 on Monday while maintaining a buy rating. This is so far the cleanest amidst what we are seeing with Palantir. A price target is basically an analyst's best guess for where they think a stock could go over the next year. So Rosenblatt did two things at once. It raised its estimate of Palantir's likely future value and it kept its bullish buy rating. In plain English, we already liked the stock and now we like it even more. That $25 bump is not random. It usually means that the analyst thinks the company's business momentum is stronger than they originally expected. It is the financial equivalent of showing up to a restaurant thinking you'll get a decent burger and then being handed a burger, fries, and a milkshake and a signed apology from the chef for underestimating the sauce. The firm cited Palantir's significant beat to estimates, accelerated revenue growth of 56% over the last 12 months, and guidance from the second quarter and full year 2026 that exceeded Wall Street's expectations. This gives us the reason behind the upgraded target. First, significant beat to estimates means Palantir's actual results came in better than what analysts predicted. Second, accelerated revenue growth of 56% over the last 12 months means the company is growing faster than before, not slower. That matters because growth stocks are basically judged by how fast they can keep running without tripping over their own shoelaces. Third, the guidance for the next quarter and the full year came in above expectations, which is often even more important than the quarter that just happened. Why? Because the market is always trying to price the future, not just clap politely for the past. If management says business is still getting better, analysts tend to pay attention. The company's gross profit margin stands at an impressive 82%, reflecting strong operational efficiency. Now, the gross margin is one of those numbers that makes investors sit up straighter. It tells you how much of each dollar of revenue is left after the direct cost of delivering the product or service. An 82% gross margin is very strong, especially for a software company at this scale. It means Palantir is not just making sales, it is keeping a lot of those sales as profit before the other overhead stuff even shows up. This is a big deal because businesses with high gross margins can scale more elegantly. It is like running a lemonade stand where the lemons keep showing up in bulk and the water costs basically nothing. The more cups you sell, the more the machine bums. The U.S. commercial business beat street forecasts after adjusting for a customer that was recategorized to government in the quarter. This one is of a little more technical, but the meaning is still very important. Rosenblatt is saying that Palantir's U.S. commercial segment looked even stronger than expected once you count for one customer being moved from the commercial bucket to the government bucket. That matters because Wall Street likes clean comparisons. If one customer gets reclassified, it can distort the numbers a bit, like moving a giant watermelon from one basket to another and then pretending the fruit stand inventory never changed. The takeaway is still bullish after adjusting for that accounting shift. Commercial demand still looked strong enough to beat expectations. That tells investors the growth is not just a bookkeeping illusion. And the company guided to a full-year revenue forecast where the bottom of the range was above Street's high forecast. This is one of the most bullish that we can see. Analysts don't just have one estimate, they have a range, and the high forecast is usually the optimistic edge of that range. If Palantir's lowest forecast is already above what the street thought was the best case scenario, that means management is basically saying, we are not merely confident, we are offensively confident. It is like a student telling the teacher, I think I might get an A, and then handing in work that is already above the honor roll ceiling before the exam is even graded. That kind of guidance is a strong signal that the business momentum is not one quarter fluke. Adjusted operating income grew 152% in the first quarter, and the guidance puts 2026 at 97%. This is about profitability acceleration. Adjusted operating income is the profit left after operating expenses after some adjustments. A 52% increase in the first quarter means profits are not just growing, they are surging, and the guidance implies that for the full year, adjusted operating income could be up 97%, which is still almost doubling. That is the kind of number that makes growth investors grin like they just found extra fries at the bottom of the bag. The real beauty here is leverage. When a software company grows revenue and keeps margins high, profit can rise even faster than sales. This is where the market starts imagining giant futures instead of merely decent quarters. And according to Investing Pro analysis, which shows the stock is currently overvalued relative to its fair value, the company has been profitable over the last 12 months, with analysts forecasting continued growth. Now, this is doing two things at once, warning and reassuring. The warning is that the stock may already be priced above a fair value estimate, which means investors are paying a premium for the future. The reassurance is that the company is profitable and analysts expect growth to continue. So the message is not, this company is bad, it is, this company is good, but the market may already be paying tomorrow's rent today. This is the classic growth stock trade-off. You can own an amazing business and still overpay for it. The car can be a Ferrari, but if you pay spaceship money, the speedometer has to keep impressing people. So Rosenblatt said Palantir is helping enterprises and governments use AI to drive real value. This is the analyst thesis in one sentence. They are saying Palantir is not just selling shiny AI buzzwords, it is helping real customers use AI in ways that actually matter to operations, decisions, and outcomes. That phrase, real value, is doing a lot of work. It means that the software is not just a demo that makes executives nod approvingly in a conference room while a PowerPoint spins in the background. It means customers are finding actual, useful value in the product. For a software company, that is what separates cool toy from mission-critical platform. And the firm said the company's integration, orchestration, and ontology are key to unlocking AI value in the enterprise. Now, this is Palantir's mod story. Integration means connecting different data sources. Orchestration means coordinating systems and workflows so they actually function together. Ontology is Palantir's structured way of organizing how organizations and data relate to one another. Together, those things matter because enterprise AI is not just about having a chatbot that can write a limerick about inventory. It is about getting many messy systems to behave like one coherent machine. Rosenblatt is saying the secret sauce is not the AI model by itself, but the plumbing around it. In other words, the shiny engine is nice, but the transmission, steering wheel, and dashboard are what makes the car drivable. Rosenblatt said its checks with customers, former Palantir employees, and system integrators, as well as its knowledge of the product, makes it doubt that a large language model provider will create a functioning replacement of Palantir stack over the forecastable time horizon. Now, this is the analyst language for we think Palantir's platform is harder to replace than people think. They are saying their conversations with customers, ex-employees, and system integrators make them skeptical that some LLM company will scoop in and casually build a full Palantir replacement anytime soon. That matters because one of the biggest fears in AI is commoditization. If anyone can do the same thing, margins get squashed like a soda can in a backpack. Rosenblatt's point is that Palantir's stack is not just a model, it is a whole system. Replacing a whole system is a lot harder than replacing one flashy feature. It's the difference between swapping out a toaster and rebuilding the kitchen. In other recent news, we see Palantir Technologies has reported a strong performance for the first quarter of 2026, exceeding both earnings and revenue expectations. So from Rosenblatt's opinion and summarizing the earnings report itself, the big idea is simple. Palantir did better than expected on both profit and sales. That is the kind of result that gets the stock on everyone's screen. Strong results matter because they provide the raw fuel for analyst upgrades, higher guidance, and bigger valuation debates. Without strong results, there is no bullish story. With strong results, everybody suddenly becomes an expert with a calculator and a strong opinion. And so the company posted an earnings per share of 0.33, surpassing the forecast of 0.28 and achieving revenue of 1.633 billion, which was higher than the anticipated 1.54 billion. And so coming to this numbers part, it is pretty straightforward. Palantir bet on both EPS and revenue. EPS of 0.33 versus 0.28 is meaningful beat, and revenue of 1.663 billion versus 1.54 billion is also a solid beat. These kinds of beats matter because they show the company is not just growing by adding more sales at any cost, it is also showing better earnings power than expected. Think of it like a student not only scoring higher on the final exam but also turning in all the homework, participating in class, and somehow making the teacher look underprepared. This is the energy here. And so that is it for now. What do you think about what Rosenblatt says? And let me know what you think. And if you stayed until this point, please comment the word "I stayed" until the end, and please like, share, and subscribe. Also remember that God loves us and gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Please put God first in everything and he will do the rest for you. Thank you for watching. May God bless you.